Hey everyone, this is Evan from Delta Triggers. Today I want to talk to you about the Delta Glock Performance Trigger. This one is for the Gen 5 9mm, and there's been a lot of talk about the Glock Performance Trigger. I really like it. It is a single action trigger, so very much like the Timney that came out a couple of years ago. It was all the rage back then. So in this kit, you've got your Glock Performance Trigger. You then get an additional safety plunger, and you get an Allen key. Okay. So what is so special about this? Well, number one, everything is polished and refined, so it is extremely smooth. The standard Glock Performance Trigger comes with a dot connector. Okay, I have swapped that out. This comes with a Delta ultra refined minus connector. Okay, so your trigger pull is lighter. There has been modification to the trigger housing, so you have a special set screw in the housing. It gives you very quick reset. You've also got a set screw in the shoe, so you're able to adjust your pre-travel, able to dial that in. We set this so that it takes out the vast majority of your pre-travel, giving you, making it very quick. Then you've got your safety plunger with a standard spring, and you've got your Allen key to do all your adjustments. Absolutely no need to do competition spring kits and whatever on a Glock Performance Trigger system. The way the whole trigger is designed, it's very different from the two-stage of the normal trigger system. So this is single action. The springs don't really have an effect. There's no point changing them out, really. Okay, but that is also a plus, because you can achieve a really good trigger pull without having to change, primarily your striker spring. So you still have a standard striker spring. It enables you to hit any primer, ignite any primer, because it's still powerful. So you don't ever run the risk of really having a light strike. I mean, that's the beauty of this whole system. One of them. So we've got a Glock 19. Gen 5. So I'm going to show you how we do everything. Okay, so firstly we're going to just change this. Right? If you really want the ultimate system, definitely get a Delta striker assembly. Highly refined. It's meant to work with the other Delta products. It is just going to be super smooth, if you really want to create the ultimate system. Okay, so this is just your standard one. Okay, it's in. Check it. Moves freely. Okay, so now we're going to get this guy in. Okay, take out your alt system. All right, so just refer to my videos that I have about lubrication. There's going to be a video that's specific to the Glock Performance Trigger. It's just because this mechanism can be a little bit tricky. Once you take this out, some guys battle, in terms of putting it back together and making sure that it sits properly. So there's going to be another in-depth video about that. But you're going to have to apply your lubrication. Okay, and then you put it in, and now we're gonna set everything up. Just gonna move that a little bit. Okay. So now, I mean, we don't necessarily have to put the slide on just yet, because this is under spring tension. So this little gap, you can see that's how far I've taken this back. I mean, you know, if you really wanted to, I mean, you could take it back just a little hair more, but then you run the risk of, like, when you pull the trigger, it's going to maybe catch on the frame or something like that. So, you know, I don't like doing that. But if you put your fingers on either side and you try and move it, safety is still 100% intact. This moves perfectly freely, and everything is working the way that it should. All right. So we're going to just check how everything works here. So that's how much pre-travel you have. Okay, very little bit, very minimal. Okay. The brake on the Glock Performance Trigger is amazing. I mean, it's like 90 degrees. Very predictable, very, very nice. There we go. That's your brake. And that's your reset. Okay. So, if you wanted to adjust your pre-travel, got the set screw here, so you can either just push it down like this, do the shortcut version, put it in, turn it clockwise if you want to try dial it in a little bit more, anti-clockwise if you want to dial it out a little bit more. Let's just say it's potentially catching on the frame or etc. You know, anti-clockwise. Once you finish setting it up, put a little dab of blue Loctite in there. Let it set for 24 hours before you fire the gun. Okay, so now this is fine. I mean, for this particular gun, this is fine. All right. So now I want to make sure that it's braking the way that it should. So we're going to rack it. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to squeeze it. It replicates having a full magazine in the gun, everything compressing together. And I'm going to, now I'm applying pressure, I'm going to pull the trigger. Okay. So I felt, on this one, I felt a little bit of a delay. You know, you can, it's supposed to break like really crisp without any hindrance. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop out this back pin. Just lift that up a little bit. I'm going to just get this Allen key in there. Okay. Now, I am going to just get it in there nicely. And I'm just going to do like an 1/8 of a turn anti-clockwise. Right. There's already blue Loctite on everything, so that, you know, that doesn't move very easily. It's not supposed to. Okay. So let's just check this again. Squeeze. Oh, way better. Oh, way better. No hang up whatsoever. Just needed that tiny little adjustment, and you might need that for your gun. Each frame is a little bit different. The tolerance is a little bit different, so you might just need that little bit of a calibration. Okay, but that's how simple it is. You know, on the Glock Performance Triggers, I recommend doing like 1/8 of a turn. I usually recommend doing 1/4 of a turn, but Glock Performance 1/8 of a turn, because I mean this is really like top performance, especially if you pair this with a Delta striker assembly. It's just unreal, you know, what this feels like. Super smooth. So let's just show this again. Okay, there we go. Wall, break. Oh, That brake is crazy. And you know what's nice? Like this reset is like, it's aggressive. It's a bit aggressive. I mean, it's like tries to push your finger, which is what you want. You want that active feedback. All right. So that is the Glock Performance Trigger, the Delta version. I mean, this really is like, like creme de la creme now. Some people still prefer the Delta competition. They like that nice rolling brake that you get from that. It all just comes down to personal preference. It just depends what you like, your shooting style and stuff like that. They're all good. It's really just personal preference. All right. Thank you, guys. That's the Gen 5.